Let's get this show on the road. There we go. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody's doing well. Let's see. Let me get out of this thing for a minute. Make sure everybody can hear me okay before we get going. And the video's coming through nicely, I hope. Got a few followers. If you missed it earlier, I did just a broadcast test because we're back with running OBS Studio. I had to reset up my whole PC. And we ran a test earlier as I was staging the show for tonight. Hi KW and Driz and everybody else that's out there. Lars Monson is now hosting my stream. Thanks Lars for the host. And we're going to be doing Tutorial Tuesday. It's the day of the year, or the map, where we're going to show you as much as we can possibly think of. And then, and Shaky929, thanks for the host. And then once we get going, we're gonna, once everybody hear me and audio's good, good. Video, audio, good. So Tutorial Tuesday is all about explaining as much as possible about the map. It's a recap of everything. We're gonna try to get it all in there today, as long as it takes. The first part of this is offline, on a clean save game that I loaded up. And Conarin, thank you for the host as well. And we're going to see if we can cover everything without missing anything, if it's at all possible. And then we'll have this tutorial. And Blugnu, thank you for the host. And then we'll have this tutorial to go to if you guys have any questions later when we release the map, which will be on Saturday. Rivers 101, that's what it is. Okay, so we're going to start off here with the new features with the command menu. The command menu is brought up by hitting the slash key that's on the question mark key. And Wild Rose 99, thanks for the host. Oh my gosh, lots of hosting going on out there. Thank you so much for all the hosts, everybody. So you hit the slash key, it brings up the menu and also brings up the cursor so you can move it around. First thing, and you can hit the slash key again, get rid of the cursor. So basically, turns on and off the cursor by hitting the slash key. I hope you guys can see the menu okay up here. You can move the menu around by clicking on the little plus key up here in the corner, as well as the X key will close it again. So if you close it, it gets rid of the cursor, lets you control your mouse again, and you can bring it back up. The settings, very important to go through the settings. I want to show you exactly what each of these does so you know what they are. Shops randomly change the volume of reserves. That can be turned on or off. Basically what that is in the shops menu, they have a total of how much they can hold, which of each of the products. Most of them here are 300,000. And then they have these reserves. And Nab Luna Nina, thank you for the host as well. And another follow by Dr. Nuya, thank you for the follow. So we have these reserves here, and they're the totals. These numbers can change randomly. Basically, if a factory fills up, it starts turning red like this, or these are shops. So you won't be able to sell apples to Lydia's farm shop, for instance, because there's not enough room. Well, these numbers change randomly if you have the change random set on. If you turn it off, they will slowly dissipate and not randomly change. So that's your option, number one. Quickly deliver cargo. We will get into the, and Zappy Girl, thanks for the follow. We'll get into quickly deliver cargo. They're like missions where you get to, and Nab Luna Nina, thank you for the follow. They're like missions that you can turn on or off to deliver cargo quickly from one place to another. We're going to leave those on. We'll show you those. I'm sure we'll get them to pop up later, and you'll know more about those. Show deliver cargo in the HUD. That is another feature we will get into later. We're going to leave that on. Contracts are like mini missions as well. You can get a contract for goods. These are the things you can turn on and off as we get through the tutorial. We're going to get more into those. You'll know later. It's going to be much easier to pull those up online. Dirt control on gates. There is a couple factories for, let's see, the sugar factory and the grain mill that will not allow a vehicle through the doors if the gate, if that is turned on and your vehicles are dirty. So you can turn off that feature. Race Zero, thanks for the host. You can turn off that feature, turn it on, all on your own, whatever you want. If you get to a gate and it's really annoying because you can't get in and your vehicle's dirty, and Race Zero also, thank you for the follow, then you are able to turn it off if you want to kind of cheat your own way through, or you can get a spray washer and spray your vehicle so you can get through. But there's only a couple factories that are using that. Show help promptings. A help prompting is these arrows, which you will find throughout the map. Here, we'll get out here. And you can see the fill vehicle fuel station here. If I turn off the help promptings, which is, let's see, right here, you can get rid of those. Once you're familiar with the map, you'll probably want to turn those off, but you're going to want to leave them on until you know everything that they possibly could tell you, or you could leave them on all the time. They're really not that annoying seeing the little green arrows, but they are able to be turned on and off. Back to big fill types with names. We're going to need to pick up some product for that one. So let's see what we have here. Tab through my vehicles that I have all over the place. Here we go. We have one here, and if you notice the big fill type with names, when it's off, it goes right down into the little menu where it normally is. If you want to see it larger, you can turn it on. There you go. It pops out and shows you it a little bit bigger. Back to my green car. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Wheels damage crops on the field is turned on. So if I drive over here, we'll move this out of the way for a minute, and I go into the field, it does not work on all the crops, but it definitely will work on the in-game ones like corn. You can see I just damaged some corn, and if you don't want that to happen, you can simply turn it off and it will not happen anymore. These settings also are independent per player, so if you're on a server with multiple players, they have their own settings. If mine's set to damage the crops and yours, then I will damage, and you can have it so your vehicle that you don't have doesn't damage. Show pallet info. I don't have any pallets right now. We'll get to that a little bit later, but it basically has an info screen that pops up of what is in the pallet, and also the option to delete a pallet. And then the gold coin search, and I hope you guys can hear the audio of the game. We're gonna turn that on. And a little bit about the gold coins. There are 100 gold coins. They work in, you can find them in single player and multiplayer. In single player games, they are used to do deals with the when you're buying fields to get a little bit of a discount. And you will find, you can hear a beep when you get close. I hope you guys can hear that. The beep when I'm getting close. That's what that gold coin search does. It's like an indicator that I'm getting close to that gold coin. Let me shut off the cursor so I can turn. You see the gold coin there? If I back up, the beeping goes away. If I get closer, it gets steadier, and then I have picked up a gold coin. It remains to find 99 gold coins. So you will find, and there's your first clue. There you can find your first one right here at the farm. So you can find gold coins throughout the map, 100 of them. It may take you longer to purchase fields. We'll get into purchasing fields in single player without the gold coins, because if you don't have enough gold coins to do the purchases, it'll cycle a couple times until the gold coins aren't needed. Second special feature other than the gold coins, which we can turn off, that covers pretty much the slash menu settings. So we'll turn that off, and you can click on different parts of this. This here just switches between percentage view and numerical view. Simple as that. And I think that will cover. We're going to close that down for now. Findable objects are also throughout the map, and it's a good idea. I found them all, so I'm not going to reveal all of them. I will show you one of them, so we show you how to find them and what happens. But these are the objects, the final objects. We changed a few to make it more useful. And here is the objects, 15 of them in total, that you can find hidden throughout the map from the start that might help you get started. You have the Ursus tractor, Marshall manure tanker, the mixed feeder there, the smaller one, manual feeder, a fertilizer spreader, forage wagon, a combine, the pickup truck, a plow, tree planter, a couple of Amazon, I think that's Amazon, tippers there, Lindner tractor, front loader, and the man truck. So there's 14 there. MK Mike 71, thank you for the follow. And I'm going to jump over, if I can, to number 15 and show you just what you got to do. Forgive me for tabbing through everything. I forget which vehicle. That one's close enough. Show you exactly what you're going to see. If you notice, this is your one hidden one that I'm going to show you where it is. We added a new one. If I drive up to this thing with this, I can push that around all I want, but it's not going to let me hook up to it because we haven't found it yet. So don't think that if just because it's there when you first start up, and you could actually see it's partially buried, and objects like this will be partially buried. Even when you find some of the tractors and stuff, they're not going to have their wheels on them. It's kind of cool. In order to find them, you have to be out of a vehicle and close to it. So you see, as soon as I jumped out, I found it. We were close enough to it. And now we can hook up to that and put that with the other... Drew Boyk, thank you for the follow. We can put that with the other stuff that we found, and that's object number 15 to find on the map. And that's the only one I'm going to show you where it is. The rest of them you will get to find on your own on Saturday when we release. Drive this back over to the farm, and then we're going to get into each of the features on the farm. And we're going to work our way around the map and try to catch everything. Yes, you get to do a treasure hunt. Are the points required in-game for field purchase or acquire over time and for doing things? Good question. We're going to get into the whole field purchasing and point system very soon, Lamillo. No points are required for smaller fields. There's 3 levels of field purchases. The smaller ones will let you buy it without accruing the points, and larger ones require up to, I think it's 20 for the mid-size and 40, and I'm not exactly sure where the break is in the sizes because they're using some numerical value that doesn't correspond to the size of the hectares of the field, I don't believe. So there's plenty of smaller fields to get started, and the points are actually super easy to get. So we're going to get into the point system for purchasing fields very soon when we finish up on the first farm, actually, because that's going to be one of the things you're going to want to see. Thernadad, welcome to the stream. And Viper, thank you for the host as well. Alright, so the farms. We're going to go over everything about the farms that we can think of here. I'm on the starting farm. We start with 3 crops. You're going to need to make fuel with those 3 crops. I'm not going to actually harvest them. Jay Dunn, thank you for hosting the stream as well. We have the corn field, sorghum field, and the sugarcane field. They are needed to make fuel, and you can see also by at any time hitting the left control and which one was it? Left control. I can't even remember. Not that one. It was the left control something to bring up the menu from way up here, but we will figure that out. Shut that down. So you're going to need those 3 products to fill up. What the heck? I can't remember the menu command myself. It's how frequently you use it. Left control enter maybe? No, left control L? No, it's over in this side. Maybe it's left alt. Or shift. Oh, there you go. It's the shift and the question mark key. Just hold shift, hit question mark, and you can see that these are the 3 fields we own, 8, 9, and 16. You can also purchase fields by clicking on them down at the store. I do not know if you could do it from this menu right here, but we'll give it a... We got to go down to purchase place in order to purchase, right? But this kind of gives you an overview of what fields you own. It's a nicer view. Down here is your point system. Right now we have a total of 4 points, and you earn points from completed missions, completed contracts, purchased licenses, owning chickens, cows, and sheep, threshed hectares, owned objects, time played, coin deals, and you'll lose some for illegally felled trees and railroad penalties, but railroad penalties doesn't actually work on this map, so you don't have to worry about that. We can shut that by shift question mark. It's off again. The garages on the map are special garages. You got to get close to them and hit the O key, and it will tell you actually a little. It shows that it's empty here. If we hit the O key to open it, it opens up, and they are on all 4 of the farms on the map. We're going to go through each of the farms in a minute. We'll show you where they are as well. Back in here, well, we'll hit them throughout the video actually. We're going to park the vehicle in here, and I'm going to show you what happens when the doors are shut by staying in the garage, if I can. The door is shut, and it takes the vehicle off the map. So, a lot less lag on your server if the vehicle's not in there temporarily. I can't get out of here, so I'm going to tab over here, show you from the outside, because the doors, you don't want to lock yourself in there, but you can tab out. Did the author of field status do any customization for the... It works. No needed for any customization. It just works, the current one, and he is working on another one as well. So it's kind of gonna be cool. I can't wait to see his new ones. Good for no railroad penalties, right? So when you walk up to the door now, you can see my custom Chevy. It says it's in there. We know it disappeared. But if we hit the O key and open the doors, it appears as if it never left. And there you go. So we get my custom Chevy back. A very important note about the garages. If you're using Vehicle Group Switcher, it takes them out of the vehicle group because it's literally taking it off the map and giving it back to you. So for us and the way we play, it's best to keep your vehicles that are in your Vehicle Group Switcher out underneath one of the big awnings, and put your trailers, like your shell trailers or your box trucks and those types of items, into those garages, and then you won't have to worry about that. Bad Touch is a great scripter and a great friend of the stream. He's probably out there watching. Alright, so that is the garages. Silos work just as any other silo does on the map. These do. Or you guys are going to be pretty familiar with this, but with the system, as we pull under the silo, you're going to get a R key to start filling. So I hit the R and it pulls up a menu with the products that are at this farm. Each of the farms hold different products. So as you're going to different farms, they're not going to hold the same things. The main warehouse holds everything, but what we're going to do is load up the 3 products to make fuel rather than uh, actually harvesting those fields to save time. So we're going to load corn in the first tipper. And then we'll load up the sorghum in the other one. I gotta fix that. I forgot to shift. See, I'm still working on the map, but that little thing needs to be shifted. So I'm gonna make notes because we're gonna be uncovering probably a few minor details like that as we go. And all right, my note is made. It just little things. It's yeah, we made some changes to the way these silos work recently, and it kind of when I repositioned them, it threw it off a little bit. So we move up to the next one. We hit the R key, and we need the sugarcane. Yeah, so if you're here for the first time, we are going to be back after the Tutorial Tuesday on Thursday with Mod Release Thursday, and we're going to get you links to all the mods so when we release the map on Saturday, you guys will be able to jump in and play, and we'll get a lot of the downloads out of the way ahead of time, and we're going to introduce you to the mods and their features much more detail than we have so far on Mod Release Thursday this week. That show is going to be at 8 p.m. Sugarcane and some sorghum, please. So we are taking this down to get fuel started, because obviously after you harvest those fields, you are going to want to start making fuel to get your vehicles going. 1 load apiece will keep you guys going for a long time, even though the factory holds a ton of product. But we're going to bring you down to Shell Fuel, dump this in, and start up fuel production. Well, DeHart, thank you for joining us today. On the big day, the big release day on Saturday, noon to midnight stream, we're going to be giving away lots of prizes. And if you would like to participate in that, you're going to need to follow and start collecting points. Follow and start collecting your points, because you're going to need to get some points to get into drawings. We're going to make sure that everybody that's a follower gets points during that stream, enough to make sure that you can get into every drawing. But it's the sooner you start collecting, the more drawings you'll get into, because we're giving out a ton of points every 5 minutes. You're getting points on the streams up until then. So we'll try to get a few extra streams in. Well, we got lots of streaming going on this week with the Thursday show as well before then, so start saving them up. Let's see, what are we dumping in the first one? We're dumping, of course, what's in the last trailer, the sorghum. Pretty easy to figure the fuel out. You fill up the 3 products in their appropriate places. Just like on the PV15 version 2 and all the other PV15 map. Works the same way as that one does, pretty much. KGerd5371. I gotta check with Viper. Is Viper in the stream watching? I want to know if he is still on. There was something mentioned in his stream the other night that he might have to work on Saturday, which would really suck. So, but if all is still as planned, it will be Viper278 will be giving away prizes on the half hour, and I will be giving prizes away at the top of every hour for those 12 straight hours, and Big Daddy will be filling in some random prizes throughout the day as well. So you're going to want to join. We'll get a multi-stream link up for that day, so you can keep an eye on all of them. Prize total is over $1,200, and I hope that Viper's still good for that. But if not, we may have to separate his show from mine. We'll see as soon as we figure that out. Once you dump your products into the fuel shell, bring up your menu, go to the factories because it operates as a factory. You can hit choose from list, or you can cycle through with the arrows till you find the correct factory. I always seem to choose from list because it's easier. If you're working on a small screen, you might not get all of these on the screen, so you may have to cycle through if it's one of the bottom ones. And it's a long list, so just finding the shell fuel in the middle of the list is sometimes challenging in itself. Exclamation point points will show you guys how many points you have, and if you want to wager them and try to earn more before the big show. Exclamation point farm lets you get into our farming game. Exclamation point farm space and the number of points you're wagering up to 20,000. That's how that works. Once the fuel is in, make sure you click start production or you're not going to get any fuel. So we are now producing our fuel. It'll take a while. If I fast forward just a little bit, you guys would see that fuel is for some reason not going up. Why is it not going up? Oh, there it is. It's in the percentages. There you go. You can see the fuel is raising up pretty. Let's slow it back down. That's more realistic. So there you go. We're creating fuel. I never use the percentage menu myself. I like the numbers, but someone said they prefer the percentage menu in one of the previous streams. I forget who it was. We are creating fuel. Next thing we need to do is we need to create seed. If you want to have seed for when you are going, then yeah, you better take some of either your first harvest, or you will notice when you start the game that in several of the silos there's a little bit of product. I overloaded this main farm silo, so we can actually check you. If you go to the warehouses, you can check each farm and what's in the silos. If I go to East, you can see that East Farm has some sunflower, corn, rye, and oat. Little quantities down there to get you started. Those are perfect for using for seed when you get started, so you don't have to jump into your field crop. And you will find them at the main farm as well, but North Farm has a little bit of wheat, barley, rye, and oat as well. Whoops, wrong button. And we are at the South Farm, which is the main farm, and I filled up all the silos for this demonstration. So it's kind of hard to show you. But yeah, you got lots of product in there. In order to create seed, let's shut this down for a minute. Pull up under here, just pick a product that you want to make it out of. I guess we'll use some wheat for the seed. Yes, the silos down at the shelf station do increase parallel now. It's one of the things that the new scripting system would not allow me to fill silos in succession. Lars Monson.
Thank you and your team for all your hard work.
Thank you so much for the $50 donation, Lars. Awesome. Can't thank all the donators enough for everything that you guys have done. It's been an incredible few months as we've been wrapping this map up after we've took our little break, but I'm so glad to finally be able to get it out to you and start working on another project. All you need to do is weed is not, that's not the seed, that's the Fert Master. That's where you create fertilizer. Will I ever make a more solo-friendly PV style map? This map is very solo-friendly compared to the last map. Feared Fox, there's so many ways to play it. It is large. Misty Davidson 82, thank you for the follow. But yeah, I think you're going to find this full of features, but much more single-player friendly than the last map. It's a lot easier to play as well. So it's more features, but very single-player friendly. Things are, I mean, the crops yields are way up higher. It's more geared toward single-player, and actually, or multiple player co-op play. That was our goal, to make a co-op or single player friendly map, and I think we've achieved just that. If you're a completionist, you might go bonkers, but yeah, but I think still yet you guys will have a fun time here. So Seedmaster is running. Can you see the pop-up map thingy? I don't know if you're talking about the shift question mark one. That is the easiest one to see. If you want to use your 9 key, it's the regular one, and it's a little bit jumbled because stuff is so packed in on this map with all the different places. It's much easier to read and follow on the larger map that we put in. But there you go. You have the overview map as well. Alright, so we're making seed. The next thing we need to do is tell you a little bit about the seed, because seed works a little bit differently on this map as well. We're going to load a seeder up a little bit. It takes a while to produce seed, so it's best when you first start, get some product in there and get your seed going. And you'll see as I pull up to this that there's hardly any, but all you got to do is drive underneath here, get some seed. Now you notice how it says wheat seeds in there. I can only seed, you have to select your fill type prior to filling the seeder. And in order to switch seed types, you need to empty the seeder, which I will show you how to do. It's as simple as driving over to the first arrow where you fill seeds or unload seeds. I pull up here and you'll notice in the top menu right here, I'll throw this up. Right here I can O unload or R refill sower. So with this small amount that we created, we're going to hit the O key. You'll notice the seeds are going into the storage area. Actually put a pallet in there. Now what you want to do is select your seed type with the O key, and then say I wanted to choose rye, refill the sow, and now it's rye seeds. So you're going to want to plan your fields a little bit better. After you're done seeding one type of seed, you're going to need to offload your seeder. In single player, we have a mod that can do that out in the field for you, a overloader that does not work on server. But as far as server play, yeah, you're going to have to head back, I think, and unless we figure something out, but very simple. Filling up your seeds is done that way. And I'm not going to seed any fields, but one of the notes I wanted to get across to you is that sometimes the fields on this map will not work cultivating with a hired worker the first time through, so you may have to do them manually. I still am not sure what the heck causes that bug. I've tried to fix it in several different ways, but some fields it seems to happen. If it does happen, just cultivate it by hand the first time through, and then your hired workers will work the rest of the time. Other things to know are you create your own fertilizer. Alright, before we leave the seeds actually, what you can use for the seeds are any of the crop types that are not root vegetables to create seeds. So anything that is not a root vegetable, which means pretty much any of the crops. There you go. Corn, barley, canola, wheat, sorghum, sugarcane, hemp, millet, sunflower, cotton, oat, or rye can make seeds. It's right there on it for you with the question mark key. And I'm not going to make the fertilizer, but it works the same way. And you can make fertilizer from, and this is the granular fertilizer, by dumping in manure, liquid manure, or compost right there to make your fertilizer, and drive under with your fertilizer machine. Same as PV15 2.2, and we got so much to cover that I'm not going to run around and show you that. We'll show you more of the new stuff rather than the other stuff, but we'll briefly touch on several of those things as we go around the map. While I'm thinking about it, there was a picture released on FSUK, and it is apparently from E3 booth where Giants is having pigs, a new animal. So Yeah, pigs are coming to FS17 as well. Thought I'd throw that out there for anybody that might not have seen that. It was very recent. All hired workers went to school only up to the 4th grade, so they are dumb as straw. Yeah, that's funny. All right, so there's a reserves, which is the silos that we showed you here. They are separate from the Seedmaster and Fertmaster. So when those Seedmaster and Fertmaster fill up, you can dump your seeds in the reserve as well as your fertilizer into the reserve. And this is where you would be dumping your fertilizer and seed in to fill the reserves from a tipper. Just pick it up with a tipper, drag it over here, and dump it in right there where that arrow is. On the other side, other than filling the seeds, we have where you fill your fertilizer spreader. Just pull up to this arrow, you'll get the trigger to fill up your fertilizer spreader, and that fertilizer will offload. You can refuel your vehicles by pulling up to this arrow here where the fuel pump is, and you can get fuel if you have fuel in your reserves. You need to create it and get it up here first, and we're going to bring some up in just a minute. And over here is where you fill it. You dump that vehicle right there. So let's jump down to the fuel. If I can find that vehicle somewhere in all these. There we go. So this is the new fuel tanker. We still have the AR one, but this is going to be in the optional mods pack, and it's really cool looking. Along with this truck as well. Crisco131, thank you for the follow. And it's pretty simple to fill up the fuel, which we don't have a lot, but I'm not going to sit around and wait for a bunch of fuel. But if we go back to the Shell fuel, we do have 969 made right now. Just pull up to where that little green arrow, and we do have an extensive help this time in the map, so this tutorial probably isn't as needed as much, but load fuel tankers here, okay. I pull up underneath, I get that R key again, I hit the R key, it brings up fuel, just click where it says fuel, 978 liters, and now we have it filling. As I sit on it, it will keep filling until I move off the trigger, but we have 982 liters. So we're going to run that up to the main farm and add that to the reserves. Yes, the map is almost ready, Master Chef. How are you doing? And it will be released Saturday. It is just a tweak week. And all the good shows, getting everything out to you guys. Tutorial Tuesday is going to be a mainstay because it does really help people, I think, when they're watching, getting an idea of everything that can be done on the map. And there's a lot on this one, so it's definitely going to take some time. I've planned actually 6 hours. If it takes that long, we have 6 hours to do it. We're already on 45 minutes and we haven't even left the first farm, so we've got a long way to go. And this one here, he said if I turn on the drive control it works better. This truck and trailer combo is kind of close up near the thing. So fill vehicle fuel station here. You'll notice as I got up near there I get the R key to start filling, and we add that fuel into the reserves at the main farm. So that's pretty much how fuel is done on the map. And I think that's pretty much how everything on the main farm works. That what you see underneath there is all the starting equipment that you start with. And I didn't touch any of the starting equipment, so that's pretty much it. We're going to move on to part number whatever. Jump in my little pickup truck and cruise around the map and see what's up next. You will want to be careful, and I'll show you why. There is mud on the map if you haven't been following and this is your first time in the stream. Mud can bog down your vehicle quite quickly and easily. And I'm going to show you a couple things here, if we can. First thing is, we'll get stuck in mud. Maybe I can get out. But in the bottom of this stream and in several places on the map, it's actually kind of harder to see in the stream because we're underwater. But you can see the mud kicking up as I go through. This truck usually handles pretty good through mud, but boy did it come out dirty. It can be better seen when it's not underwater, such as Zoltar. Thank you for the $25 donation. Thank you so much. Unbelievable. The kindness and generosity you people have shown throughout the last few months and since we started doing Pleasant Valley version PB15 version 2 has been incredible. With over $6,000 in donations to date amongst all of our streams. Unbelievable. So mud is over here on the sides. We'll show you more how the mud kicks up. It's just an added feature. Don't get stuck or you're going to have a problem, because also on this map, if you were to get stuck, we're going to get a tow chain in here for the release on Thursday. We'll give that a try. Hopefully it'll work. I haven't even tried it yet. But if you have to reset a vehicle, you get a reset penalty. So if you need to go in and reset a vehicle that's stuck, you get a reset penalty. Those reset penalties vary depending on two conditions. Number one, the cost of the vehicle, and number two, how far away it is from the garage, which is the main vehicle purchase place. So the bigger the vehicle and the further you are away from the garage, the more your penalty is going to be. Just keep that in mind. If you're really close by, it won't be too bad. Next thing I want to show you is the field, flooded field for doing cranberry and rice is down below. We're going to drive down there, but up here is where we're going to dump gravel in a few minutes to show you how that works. But before we do that, let's go down below, park this vehicle down there. Oh, let's see if we get stuck this time. Moxing299, thank you for the follow. We're going to go down there and drive around, show you the flooded field, what it looks like before we empty it, drain it, then we'll drain it and go back down. I have to go around the long way. I could have jumped over the waterfall, but there's a chance I won't land on my wheels. So we'll just go down and around. The flooded field will take approximately 50,000, I believe it's set to, don't quote me on that, to drain it, and it does come back over time. I suggest if you're going to jump in there, just dump 100,000 gravel into that, and that should give you enough time to plant the fields or harvest the fields, whichever you're doing at the time. And we're just going to head over there right now. The Big Garrett Show, thank you for the follow. Lots of new followers. If this is your first time here, this map's going to be released, Pleasant Valley Rivers. It will be released Saturday in a 12-hour stream where we'll be giving away tons of prizes and having just a great time. Also, the mods that you're going to see some of on here, but all the mods you'll need and some additionals will also be available on Mod Release Thursday. Mod Release Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the map release Saturday will be at noon to midnight. So here's the flooded field. We can't see it. We're over here. You can walk on water. I didn't drive the vehicle on there because you can't go in. Vehicle floods, gets stuck. But while we're down here, might as well give you the full demonstration. So if I tried to go down in here, oh, kicked me out, my vehicle's stuck. And for demonstration point number 2, let's go into the I key, go to my flooded field, highlight my truck, reset vehicle, click yes, And you'll notice it cost me $4,901 to get that vehicle out of there by resetting it. So you're going to want to avoid going in there. Even after you drain the field, you have to reset the vehicle. Just keep that in mind. If you drive in there, it's just like driving in water. You have to reset the vehicle. Even after it's drained, you will not be able to enter. So something to keep in mind. I'm going to bring this back over there again. Yeah, I'm kind of competing. I didn't realize E3 week was this week. I know a lot of you probably have that up in another window as well. But hey, thanks for joining us anyway. Now we're here broadcasting, driving the wrong direction. Back to flooded field. Alright, so there's our flooded field from the down below view. Let's jump back up to our pickup truck, which is right here, our dump truck. Basically, we're going to dump the gravel in this box, and I want to show you something real quick before we do that. I have 105,000. This is one of the new dump trucks. Cryos Drain, thank you for the follow. If you walk over here, you will see that there is a hole in the water with two pipes that need to be blocked off by filling this with the gravel. And when you block that off, if we look up at the top of the waterfall here, you can see the water is down there filling the fields. So it's kind of a cool little thing I threw in here as we were making the map to kind of give it a little more realism as you're draining the field, and we'll show you exactly what happens. I can't be in both places at once, so we'll just show you real quick. We're going to start offloading and run. You can see it filling up right there. Gravel's going right up to the top. We now have a huge pile blocking off, and instantly, if you were down below when somebody did that, you could see we uncovered the fields. And the water from these two top pipes has stopped flowing out. As that dissipates, the water level will rise back up, and you won't be... Yeah, let's see. That's not the vehicle I wanted to be in. I reset the vehicle I wanted to be in. That's why. So now we can drive down in here. And I missed another follow. It was Lee Rob 12, it looks like, or it's hard for me to see the color. I gotta change the color on that thing. Just put that in this week. So yeah, a little bit hard for me to read it, but thank you for the follow, and it's probably already scrolled off the chat. Will you see vehicles after you drain the field? Yes, you will. It'll be there. If you drove into the water, the vehicle will be there. And you can get stuck back in the field as well as the water rises. Yes, we'll get this up on YouTube right after the stream, so we can get that links to this in the PDF file that S7 Davis has so kindly created. You still do not want to go in the middle water, because then you have no choice but to reset. But you have your fields here, and we will give you... I'm going to get out of here so I don't lose my vehicle again. But as the water level rises back up, you will be able to, you'll see it. Actually, we can start it. You can kind of fast forward the time. And if we sit next to the water edge here, it takes a while. We got a lot in there, so it's not even going to start for a little bit. Let me fast forward a little bit until it starts moving. Like I said, 50,000 is full. Anything over that, we'll keep it there for a while before it starts raising up. It's raising up now. You can see it pretty quick because I'm going, and it's dark, and I got to get my vehicle out of here before it gets to the top edge, or I'm going to drown myself. So we'll get the lights back on and go to the next day, show you that once we get off the field. Or we could leave the vehicle here and drown it. We'll show you what happens if that happens. Why not? We'll just reset it one more time. So we'll fast forward again. As we're driving around, there you go. I was just kicked out of my vehicle, and it's going to get buried. as and it took quite a while because we're moving into almost 11 hours to get back to that point for 100,000. You got plenty of time to, let me get to daylight here. This is just a notification that there's a change in the prices, and Crystal Steel price of coal is now, they're now, yeah, buying for $82. And quickly deliver cargo, we were talking about that. Destination Shell Station North, they're looking for cranberry lambic beer from Sam Adams, and they're paying $480,064 for 6,000 liters. And you have 15 hours and 36 minutes to deliver it. If you hit OK and you miss getting them their 6,000 liters, and it just disappeared because I didn't hit OK, then you are going to have issues with the penalty. Now the Crystal Steel went back to $60. You're going to get penaltied up the wazoo if you don't finish those. You'll lose a lot of money. So here I am floating in the water. Let me reset that vehicle one more time. And I apologize, I'm trying to do this. If I'm missing some of the chat, as usual, there's tons I got to get through. And yeah, I might be missing quite a bit because I'm trying to get everything covered. Okay, that vehicle, we spent another $5,000 to get it back to the shop. So that is your vehicles. We'll get more. Once we're done with the main tutorial, we'll scroll through and we'll get some more of those contracts and get more into that very soon. The other thing I'm going to take you down to show you, as we see the jet plane fly over there, is purchasing. Lots of purchasing to do on the farms. As far as your fields and everything, they all take place at one office, all the purchasing of buildings and factories. Nope, the necessary mods are going to be coming out on Thursday. You'll be able to get them on Saturday as well, but we'll be releasing them and showing you what they are and explaining what each one does on Thursday ahead of the map, so we can kind of break up your download, because there's going to be probably a close to gigabyte of mods and almost a 700 megabyte map file. So breaking them up will help you guys out, I think, this time much better than getting them all at one time. Get you the mods, that way it should be all right, you know, give you everybody some time to get the big chunk of the download with the mods out of the way first. I am just going to drive down, and this, actually, I should be taking the road, the main road that goes down the middle. We'll see all the bridges and everything, and we'll get into that pretty soon, how bridges are built and everything. But this main road that goes down along the main river that leads to the center of the map. And Taken Fanatic 393, thank you for the follow. It's Le Rob 1872 was the last one that I messed up because I couldn't see it, but I see it now in my stream labels thing popped up, so thank you for the follow. If you follow this road all the way down to where you have to turn left, this is a very simple way to find it when you first get in here. You're going to come across two offices. The first place is the bank. The bank is the place for upgrading, and yes, you can hear the coin again. There's one there. There's 100 to find, so here, we'll pick that up once more. Yay! With 98 left to go. This is where you actually do upgrades. Upgrades are done on farms by clicking on the farms, and then the main warehouse can be upgraded in capacities too. One of the things you're going to want to remember is all of these, if you want to do the upgrade, and if you click on one, you could see what the upgrades do. Upgrade all the storage capacity to 1 million and each farm can be done individually, from 500,000 to 1 million, by highlighting it and clicking it. But every silo on those farms has to be emptied before you do the upgrade, and if it isn't, and I click to do the upgrade, it will give you the message to unload storages first. So in order to upgrade here, you're going to want to unload storages. Fortunately, the warehouse doesn't have, I don't know if I have the $10 million to do it. I do, I think. But if you click on upgrade and there is nothing in it, like the warehouse doesn't have anything when you start off, in most of them, there you go. Oh, it's $1 million. There you go. Now, if I go back over to the thing here, you will see that the next stage is to 10 million. All right, it went from, what is that? 500,000, 5 million. Yeah, first one stage on all these is 5 million, and then you can actually upgrade it for another $3 million to 10 million. But everything has to be emptied. So that's how the upgrades work for the farms and the warehouse. Over to the other place, just straight down the street to make it simple. You have the real estate office. This is where the rest of your purchases are going to take place. Same thing we pulled up with the shift question mark key anywhere we are. I hear a beeping of a coin, but I'm not going to look for it. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll turn that off. Just because I can. And it won't get too annoying right now while we're doing this. So purchases are done here. Purchases of any of the factories can be purchased, and we'll get into more what happens, what's the difference between a factory that's not purchased that you don't own and one that you do own, and what you can do once we get to the factory section. And your fields can be purchased. You'll notice field number 70, very big field. If I click on it, it says I need to have a rating of 40 to buy it, and the deal was blocked. So when a deal is blocked, you cannot buy it. Look for small fields, for instance, like field number 10. Agent contacted the owner waiting for an answer. That's what you get. You don't own the field. You have to wait until the agent responds. And let's go forward. I'm going to use super fast forward. Don't do this at home because this mod busts the UPK kit stuff sometimes. But I'm going to use it anyway because none of it's running right now. The owner don't want to sell the property, field number 10. He can refuse it. So if he doesn't want to sell it, what happens is there's a waiting period. It grays out. You cannot buy it until it comes back, which takes about 2 to 3, I believe, in-game days before it allows you to buy it again. Field number 5 will try it, and we'll just use a regular fast forward and kind of get an idea. Well, maybe we'll save time. We're going to be going through lots of days on this map, so as we're going through the tutorial. We contract supply of goods 57,500 wheat at so much. We don't have that much. Oh, we do actually. Let's accept it. Okay, we're going to do that. Let's slow down so we can show you how to complete a contract. It's dark. Good point. While we're going to do that contract, the real estate office is only open during the day hours from 8 a.m. to, I believe, 8 p.m. or 11 p.m. Can't remember quite what it is, but it is only open during the day hours, so we'll come back here after we conclude that contract. It's a perfect time to show you the contract because I have a whole bunch of wheat in a silo and a tipper up there to move it with. While I'm at it, I have to thank Hello Kevin 1990, Taken Fanatic 393, and TFC Carbon for the follows. Thank you so much. Your first look at some of the street lights being turned on down here too. We have a contract for the grain elevator. Wants wheat, and we have this much time to get it over there. And if we look at the grain elevator, it would be under your shops, and where is it? It's right near the top. So we're going to deliver the wheat, and we're going to get 804 and try to complete that contract. Let me find a tipper that we can do that with. We got the truck right over there. I'll walk over. and we'll show you what happens when you actually can complete a contract. It's a good time to get that done. So I know I have pre-filled the silos with, we only need 57,500, and I have 500,000 in here, so good contract and good money it's going to pay. So let's drive over here and get some wheat. And we're going to fill up the first two, should be plenty. Did you get the book yet? Oh, that's good stuff. That PDF file is amazing. I think it'll be a huge help if you get stuck and the video, you don't want to watch the video, then yeah, that's going to be a great, easy way to pull up how do I do this. He has covered so much stuff in there. I can't wait till you guys see that. Take a look at it. Even if you're not usually one to take a look at it, just open up the table of contents and look at all the stuff he covered and how in-depth he covered this map. It's almost like Tutorial Tuesday isn't needed. But for those that like to watch and do the videos, we're doing Tutorial Tuesday anyway. I apologize for it being dark, but I don't want to run the time. Let's see something here. I think the notice how the grain elevator is not changing the price, the time that I have to deliver it. That usually counts down. If I go to the grain elevator, you'll notice that its working hours here, it says it's closed. It doesn't open till 5 a.m. and it works from 5 a.m. to 2200 hours, which is 10 p.m. and the state is closed. So we're going to fast forward till, because we couldn't dump this off there anyway. So we'll get out of the vehicle so I can do and we'll get up to 5 a.m. And alright, we're past 5. So let's stop the time. Now you can see that now that it's open again, the countdown timer on the bottom of that right here for the contract has once again begun to tick. So it does not count offline hours. And where am I driving to? I'm lost on my own map once again. Get my coordinate. Alright, there we go. So it's actually 57 hours of open hour time. They don't penalize you for the time that the place is closed. You want to get it there as quickly as possible though, because the longer you wait in that 57 hours, you'll start accruing penalties. It gives you a little while. Whoa, that was a Viper drive job right there. Sorry about that. Let me turn on the drive control. Sorry Viper, I'd like to pick on you though. But yeah, the longer you wait to fulfill your contracts, the little bit later on, after the first several hours, they start penalizing you every like 2 to 3 hours for not getting the contract done. So we're gonna drive down to the grain elevator, or over to the grain elevator, as we go by the museum. Which we showed that we have the streamer banners, most of them in the museum, as well as it's all updated. We'll get into that a little bit later. Yep, Dave, there's a fence there. It jumped out in front of me, I swear. It wasn't there. I'm driving on the grass. Yes, I realize that, but I know I don't like roads all the time. Alright, we've got so much to go, 1 hour down. The first part's probably going to be the longest part, because we're getting into all the little details. And then the second part should go pretty quickly. But I wanted to make sure we could show you all of these things as it's going, and we'll get our wheat over to the grain elevator and finish up this contract, which I've never finished a contract, so let's make sure it works, but I know it. I don't see why I would. Watch it mess everything up. I haven't been able to play long enough to do a contract with all the developing they've been doing. But the guys have been on the server and attempted to do. I attempted to do one, but I failed. Lay Rob 1872, thank you for the follow. Don't forget the charcoal factory doors. What about them? They're working. Are they working? I hope they're working for you now, because they're working for me. They do actually open. Yeah, nobody else has had that issue. Did you get my response there, S7, in the forums? What to try with your uh, scripts there? I mean, your input bindings. Try to remove those and see if it works, and then put them back. That might help. All right. While we're here, grain elevator. You see the grain elevator wheat total 0 of 57,500. Let's complete this contract. You can see the wheat is filling up above. And if it was full, it wouldn't be able to hold anymore. But there's always plenty of room to complete a contract. At least that's from my experience what I've seen. And finish it up with number 2 here. And it says the contract to supply of wheat was ended. And there we go. We completed the contract. We just got our bonus. It flashed up there so quick. I didn't even see it. But we got our bonus for completing that contract. That's pretty much it. The only other thing I could show you is, oh my gosh.
Great job on the map, Dave and the crew.
WP Docket. I have to say, it's so nice to see you out there once again. And thank you so much for the donation. And I'm going to get back to you in just a minute. I wanted to show these guys an important thing about completing contracts. I completed one. Got a rating of 3. My total points is now up to 7. So that's one way you can get your rating up right there. And let's go back to the other screen. Why I wanted to get back on WP Docket is everybody out there should thank that man, and I have to thank him incredibly because he's the one that introduced me to live streaming the map, and he's the reason why we're here today, and he's the reason why I'm making the money that you guys have been donating. So why he's donating, I have no idea. But if it wasn't for him, I probably still would not be live streaming the map today. We brought him on board the crew a while ago to help us out, and he started live streaming like a madman, and I got into it and haven't stopped since. So a big thanks to WP. He's going to be in the museum on the next map as a memorial to how we got started streaming here. But if it wasn't for him, I might not still be not streaming today. So thank you so much, Docket. It's great to have you back in the stream. It's good to see you out there. He is the cause of all this. And a donation to boot. He's going to be in the donation room of the museum. I guess I can do one more update on the donation museum for anything that comes in today as well. We'll get these new names in there. I want to get Docket in there for sure. So we'll work hard between now and Thursday and get them donations in. I do have to update the map anyway because of the little tiny things that we're just going to fix. But that is pretty much how a contract works. And now that we've gotten past the contract, let's move on to, I don't even know why I'm driving this back because we don't need to. We're wasting time in talking. Yeah, high five for WP Docket. Let's go back to tab through. Perfect, exactly where I want it to be. We're skipping over the BGA because it works just like any other BGA, and I'm pretty sure you guys can figure that out. If you can't, it's probably covered in the PDF file, but it's 900,000 per bunker, 4 bunkers, create your silage, liquid manure, We'll show you that later, probably a working version, because there's so much more to do here. And Big B 1982, thank you for the follow. So much more to show you guys. Here we are at Cogent. It's an all new place. First thing I want to show you is we're going to be running around. This is going to take a while over here at Cogent because there's a lot of stuff to show. And the first thing up is I need to purchase myself a chainsaw by going to chainsaws. Alright, we own a chainsaw. If you watch what happens when I have a chainsaw and I want to cut down a tree. DJsmala, I guess it is. DJsmala, thank you for the follow as well. Here we go. Cut down a tree. But I forgot to do something. I can't cut down not own tree penalty 20 grand. I got a tree penalty for cutting that down, and every tree I cut down is 20 grand. Not only is it 20 grand, but I just lost one of my points right here. Illegally felled trees. -1 point. Total of 6 points now. I just lost one. Shame on me. Whoops. Shift. Question mark to close that. So how do we fix that little thing? You're going to want to come over to... No sub button yet, Docket. We're working on it. I haven't been able to stream as often as we would like, but that's going to be changing, I believe. I've been really kicking it up a little bit lately, so we shall see someday. Again, good timing. It's closed. It's 6:02. We cannot operate and buy a tree license, which is necessary until 8 o'clock. So let's move up to 8:30. That works. Now you'll see on the fields to grow, cut trees in any quantity. Okay, but the wrong tree cannot be. I'm going to reword this still. I'm still working on the translations. That's the last thing I really had to do in the map. So you can buy a tree license, it's saying, for 50 trees for $5,000. Click OK. You can see now down on the bottom of the menu here, license to cut trees. It's a 24-hour license. If you don't use it up, you have to buy another one. But you can cut 50 trees. Once you're done cutting your 50 trees, the license will expire, and you can, even if it's only been an hour, you can buy another license and start it right up. So that is right here at Cogent as well. And once we have that, we can jump over here, cut down a tree. A little crooked, it might not fall. There you go. You now see my tree total is 49. Scurvy Nebula 18, thank you for the follow. A lot of new followers today, which is awesome. 20. So while we're here, I must let you know the map is going to be released. Pleasant Valley Rivers here live on Saturday, Thursday. There's a mod release show. Every mod you're going to need for the map, we'll get you the links for those, and you're going to give you a chance. We're going to also review them on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Show you what we have and what you can do with it, all the mods, and what's necessary. There will be a few different mod packages available. One that's necessary files, optional files, and then single-player files. On Saturday, if you're new here, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, New York time, to midnight. Multi-stream giveaways. That is if Viper is able to make it. I'm not sure as of his last comment to Big Daddy. But either way, we're going to be giving out tons and tons of prizes. We have, between Viper and myself, collected over 1,200. Wally 1966, thank you for the follow. So, yeah, literally giveaway city on that day. Between the three of us, over $1,200 in prizes has been collected. What do we got to do? Check out. I probably missed it. I will see. Yeah. There's a jog button that helps you move quicker on foot. Yes, there is, Feared Fox. You know what the amazing thing is? With my resetting the computer, I usually don't use the keyboard, and my hand controllers aren't all up to date yet. So yeah, I know. Let's see if I can find it here. There it is. There, I'm moving faster on foot. I know about it, but I didn't do it. So, uh, back to the big area here. This we're going to really get into more in the next part because everything's running. But for now, we will show you what is over here besides the huge forest. You have two sawmills built into the map. The sawmills work just like the sawmills you see on other maps, and we label them very clearly to dump logs on this side. You would pick up your wood chips right here, but one difference between ours and other maps is they are powered by coal. So you dump your coal here to power this facility. So add your coal and your logs and boom, you're making wood chips and pallets of boards from the sawmill. And you can walk up to the display here and it pops up everything on the top left in the F1 menu that has all the information about the sawmills. And you have two of them. You can also use the placeables as well, although I don't think you'll need them because there's so many ways to make boards and it's been cut down on how many you need that, yeah, it's should be pretty good. I did see GameWisp.com, and I did look into it, and I only had one question: is how you get paid, whether it can be transferred to PayPal. And if anybody knows that answer, it would be great, because if it has to be taken out and put into a credit account or something, I currently don't have one. But thank you very much for that, and I did check it out, and I actually have it set up. And what is beeping? Anybody know what's that beeping noise? Somebody's doing something behind there. It's not popping up on my screen. But yeah, that is a possibility for subscribers, and it's actually, you get more. So we'll be looking back into that in the future. Can a trailer be placed to collect wood chips yet, or is the loader still needed? Trailer, I don't think on those you can back up a trailer. I never tried. Over here, that's a good question. Have to try that later on when we have a full map. This is where you can dump boards that are picked up from Cogent. Not the palleted boards. Or I don't know if it takes pallets. It might take pallets, but it does not output pallets. Any boards that go into this storage facility, and we'll show you again later, have to be picked up in a box truck. I hear ducks. Where are they? There they go, flying overhead. Cool. So you can pick up boards in the facility there. It's just a little extra board storage on the map. Wood chip storage is done here as well. You would just drive through a vehicle, and we'll show you later, over here, and you offload. You'll see it open up. You dump your wood chips here, and then you would pick them up on the side with a front loader. Now that you would have to. Some people have been using conveyors. You might be able to get a conveyor into this deal here, but you can drive your loader down into the pit and pick up your extra wood chips. Cogent Factory. Important note to remember over here as we go over. This one here actually creates cut wood. Cut wood is used primarily right now to build greenhouses. So you would dump your logs here, get some extra wood chips out of those, and it creates cut wood pallets on the other end. Not this end, the other end. They come out somewhere over here, right here. So you would get cut wood pallets on this side, and this is actually what a cut wood pallet would look like right there. And they're used for creating the buildable orchards. That's what I said. Orchards. I think I said greenhouses. But orchards. Yes. Okay, so it can be paid out to PayPal, but it need to request it. That's all I wanted to make sure of. Funny thing is, when I stopped and took the break from map making, I kind of didn't have any money left, so I closed my bank account because they kept giving me charges. So yeah, I don't even have a bank account other than PayPal right now. I live off PayPal. But I'm going to set one up in the near future. I just couldn't do that. But if they let you pay through PayPal, then I'm good. Cogent Factory works the same way as on the other map, except for you can dump wood chips at the base. So if you're a course player, you can actually dump wood chips down at the bottom. If you're not a course player and you want to go through, you can still back up to... See, here we go. Owner agreed to sell field number 5 for this price that we went earlier. It's about a day later, actually, but we're going to purchase it by clicking OK. So now we own field 5. So that was the field purchase thing we were showing you earlier before I fast forwarded. Let me see if I put wood chips in here. I think I did. Yep, we have wood chips down in there. And actually, we'll show you. And this is the way all factories work, so it's kind of a little factory demonstration as well. We won't have to get into this on all of them. Slash key. I'll bring this up here. Click on factories. We're going to choose from list. And we will look down the list. I wish it could have been alphabetical. Sorry about that, but it goes in order of what the factories were put into the map, and it's way too late to put them in the map alphabetical order. But Cogent Forest Products, you will see... Oh crap, I forgot to bring coal up. Let's do that now. You'll see I put wood chips in. We need coal, and it'll produce 3 different products. Paper, resin, or boards. You can turn on the production of each product individually, or you can turn them all on and produce them all at the same time. What I'm going to do right now for demonstration purposes, because we can, is see if I can get to the gravel pit with the new truck down there. It might take me a while. Oh, it's way up here. That's right. Let's go pick up some coal. And this is one thing that is not going to be released with the map. We're going to try it out here. Is teleport mode to save some time. Alright. Teleport mode is a mod that you can find on Mod Hoster. And it lets you jump around the map. But not with trailers on it. So I'm going to drive into the mines, which we're going to get to a little bit later. But we're going to get some coal to fire up Cogent by going into the coal tunnel. And again, I preloaded the silos so this would make it a little bit easier. And while we're down here, a very quick introduction to these silos work a little different. They're the same as on the PV. They are not the O key. They are, they're not the R key. It says it right in the top F1 menu. Hit the O key to start all in one silo. And it will fill up your coal into the truck. We're going to fill up all 105,000 liters that this holds. Alrighty. Takes a little while. I think this truck actually takes longer to load than the other one, but this one has dynamic fill planes. And again, is another optional dump truck. It works really well than the Cat 773 that we have, other Cat 773. The dynamic fill planes allow it to pretty much hold, I believe it should hold any, I never tested it. We'll have to test it, but because it has dynamic fill planes, we should be able to get this thing to fill from any of the products on the map. I haven't tried it out yet. We'll have to swing it by and try one. Alright, so we're full. Let me get out of the tunnel here. A little dark in the coal area. Oh, I went the wrong way. That's okay. We're in the gravel area. I'm gonna teleport back up to the other place anyway, if possible. I realized earlier that, whoa, the brakes on this really are lousy if you have a full load. We might have to do some work on the brakes sometime. Teleport to the forest area, please. Thank you very much. I picked a place outside of the forest area just so I wouldn't land on the buildings because they don't show up on the map. Viper, can you hear me now? If you can, are you still on for Saturday? You have me confused. I hope you can do it. Alright, well, I'm waiting on his answer. Very simply, there are two bins really close together here. I labeled them too. This is where you can sell wood chips off directly if you want to, just like on any other map. This one on this side, it's the one that's closest to the biogas facility. It's just a sell point for wood chips. The one on the other side is the coal to fuel cogent right there. So we're going to dump the coal in. Let me bring the menu back up with cogent, and you will see that the coal is actually used across all three. One coal in, but they're used for all three of the types of products. And that's the way all the factories that have the same ingredient on the three different production lines work. So let's dump this in. You'll see we now have coal in all three of them going up. And once we have the coal in there, we can start up production on any of these three lines. We'll start them all up. And you notice as soon as I did that, we've got paper being made right over here. We have the boards and are being made over here, as well as the resin from the factory right there. And the pickup points are really close by. That's where you pick up your boards. We're going to get into more of how the factories work when we are doing the second half, because we have products in all our factories ready to go, and we're going to be filling up the last of the fairgrounds on that map as well in the second half of the show. So load resin here, but everything's labeled pretty well this time with those little labels, except for on the factories, because of the buying and building options. We couldn't label everything the way the scripting's done, so you don't see any of these green helper arrows on the factories themselves, but they are throughout. That is pretty much how Cogent Forest Products is working right now. And we're going to go to the next place on the list, which I don't really want to take a slow dump truck all the way there. Let me see if I can find we're back down here. It's daytime again. A day or two later. You'll see we still can't do field number 10, but field number 5 is owned, and so you can see anything in white still not owned. So several of the things you have to buy on the map first. Let's take this little pickup truck up to the next place on the list. Cronoa, thank you for the follow. And I know it's a lot of stuff on the screen as I'm doing this, but I gotta show you guys as much of. So it may not be as pretty with all these things in the stream, but we'll try to keep it outside. We really don't even need to have all of that in the list right now. You can also highlight over the name of the factory up above and get all the details for a factory. How much productivity in liters per hour, the maintenance per day, day cost, and how long the working hours, and if it's working or not. All that stuff is in the menu as well there. Onward to the next thing on the list. which will be, actually, why am I driving? We can get this up top a lot faster by teleporting to, right there looks good. The farmer's market is right here. Farmer's Market is a sell over time facility. It's one of the few left sell over time facilities on the map. And what it does is anything you put in here will earn you a lot more money than if you sold it anywhere else. But it gives it to you hourly as it dissipates. So if you put stuff in the farmer's market, and you'll see the pop-ups here, bring that back up. This one takes square hay bales, square straw bales, and they do have a capacity, but anything you bring up here, this is for your round bales right there, into the farmer's market, sells over time, just like it did in the last map, with the addition of a few extra products. And let's go through the products as we see them here. We'll start off on this side right here. We'll walk around. We'll run around. So you can sell tomatoes and mushrooms here, apples and oranges just by dumping them in. Cherries go here. Corn can be sold there. Over here we have a booth that's marmalade. Marmalade is made by having extra oranges. If you fill up your oranges over a certain capacity, it will start creating marmalade, which sells for more than the oranges themselves. So it's good to overstock your oranges. Same way with the wine, but the wine works off of, what the heck did it work off of? Well, I think it's cherries. Can't remember. It's been so long. This is from the last map. UKLX Hunters, thank you for the follow. So you have a wine booth that creates off of one of the other fruits. I'll have to look into that after and get you guys back up to date on what that is. In the center, you can sell potato and sugar beets on this side, and over here we have manure and wheat. You can sell manure and wheat at this little booth right here. So that is what you sell on this part of the farmer's market. In this next square down here, you can do your pears and plums, sell over time at the biggest little fruit stand, as well as an added from the meat packing facility. We have a little grill master guy that you could sell chicken fillets, steaks, sausage, and pork chops. Dump them here, they'll sell for a ton of money if you get them down below. The map also supports the steam potato steamer, washed potatoes and steamed potatoes, and you could sell them for a lot of money excess up here at the steamed potato booth. And the beet pulp, you can make it if you have more than you need to feed your animals. You can sell off beet pulp here as well at the beet pulp booth. I left this side open, so if you wanted to put your own beet pulp and potato washers and steamers up in this side, you're able to create it here and sell it off right at the same time. So that is pretty much the farmer's market. Remember, any product in the farmer's market earns you extra more than it would sell anyplace else. The fairgrounds works similar to the way it does in PV15, except for it outputs twice as much money when it runs, because it takes a lot more products to get it running. And just to give you an idea, because of the expansion of the products on the map, there's several, and we'll show you more of the fairgrounds running and what it does in the second half, which is about an hour and 20 minutes. I hope I can get this done in 3 hours, the first half. Should be able to. So you dump off pigs and beef down here in that box, and all you got to do is drive over these boxes with your F1 menu open. It will tell you all the products that need to be filled, and it's not a lot. Square straw bales to start it up right here, but it's not a lot of each product, but it is a lot of products. And because we have all that, before this would just be Pepsi, but now we have Wild Cherry Pepsi, and Mountain Dew. 3 different kinds of chips. You're going to need them all. If it was here before, we just added all the products from each of those factories to fill it up, as well as the commercial building has all 3 cereals and all 3 vodkas that are needed in it now. And it's kind of empty, so you really can't see how it works, but it's simple as bringing it up here, going in a dump trigger, filling it up. And this one is the regular crop building with the same crops as it took before. So that is a farmer's market. More on that one a little bit later. I'm going to introduce you to the factories and just tell you a little bit about them, but we're not going to fill them all up right now because with the 20 some odd buildings, it would take forever to do them all. As you can see, we're not even partially through the map. Over to Lydia's Farm Shop is a sell point on the map. First sell point, might as well tell you all about how sell points work. Sell points. This one here, first of all, has the special trigger for buying. If we activate the garden shop menu, you can buy your pallets, saplings here, and they appear in a line somewhere. Where'd they go? Come on. Was I in the trigger with my truck? I probably was. That's weird. Why did that not purchase my pallets? Or did they go somewhere else this time? Oh, there they are. They're right on the end. Yeah, they line all the way up down there. There you go. So this is where you purchase your saplings. They'll line up all the way down if you want to fill up a whole trailer. And then it's just a regular shop with an ATM right here and a phone with some help. The usual. And the shops also take palleted goods, which we'll get into a little bit later. Right here, you fill a shop up and you can sell liquid manure and solid manure right there over the little drain there. Pull up Lydia's shop menu real quick. You'll find all the shops in the shop menu. Lydia's is at the top. There are several shops to sell at. Reason why we added a lot more shops is they have capacities. You fill them up, you can't sell to it. As you can see here, they will drain again as time goes by, but the shops have a capacity. Once it's filled up with this number in this column matching the total that it will take, you can no longer sell to there until the number drops back down. That is the main thing about the shops to keep in mind, is you might not always be able to sell, but you do have a huge warehouse, which we're going to get to store it if you can't sell it until it's ready to be sold. While I'm here, water towers. The water towers work the same as in the last map as well, where you have to pump the water. You'll notice you can fill your tankers with water, but water must first be pumped at the Culligan plant to fill the water towers, and we didn't pump it yet because we're going to show you how that's done when we get down to Culligan, and then the water towers will be operational. Did Viper answer my question? Is he coming? Is he going to be here Sunday? He's now AFK. What's that? What's that about? Oh, that was typed by his chat? Okay. I have no idea what his deal is. He's probably working. So there are several shops around, including the grain elevator, which we just showed you. The pallet company is down here. It makes the wood pallets for all of the factories that require pallets.
Viper said as far as he knows he'll be here.
Okay, as far as he knows he'll be here. Good to know. Thanks, Dan. Dump your logs here, and you create pallets, and the pallets are used for all the factories. It works just like all the other factories that create sawmill products. Let's test Kingsford charcoal and see if the doors work. And again, these are labeled. If they're tricky, they're labeled. If it's self-explanatory, then They're not, but you can see this is the charcoal building. You can walk up to these boards. Tells you what products you need. Wood chips and water produces charcoal, and it's got a pallet collector inside where charcoal pallets will appear, as well as the indicators where wood chips are dumped. And on the other side of the building is where the water gets dumped, right over here, right next to that little spigot right there. Another interesting thing is there is a light switch you can turn on. Lights do not come on unless it's dark out, but you can turn on and off lights on this building right there with the light switch. Around we go. Where we'll stop, nobody knows. Let's go down and show you the... Let's do something. Let's see. We've covered the basic aspects of most things for the first part. It's going to be much easier to get into several of the other things in the second part of the show because we'll have products on the map. But we will go down to the vehicle shop area and see how that's functioning. Today, it should be fine. As well as swing by. I think we're going to jump on the ferry and give you a quick demonstration of what the ferry can do as well and how to work it, because it's built into the map. Even though it is shown as a mod and you have to purchase it in the store, the ferry had to be built into the map in order to operate correctly. Over here is the block making factory, and we're going to go through all the factories while they're running later on. I will tell you this, in the menu with the factories, it's very simple to see all the factory lists. There's several of them here. If you were to click on one and it shows you FM Textile, if they are selling a product, you can buy it from the factory. That is one of the biggest things with this now. If you don't own the factory, you are allowed to buy the products. You never actually have to own the factories. You buy them down at the location we showed you earlier, but as long as they're running them, they act as sell points before you buy them. So literally, they're buying wool, coal, and pallets, and hemp and cotton at the textile plant, and they will sell you their small little amount of textile they have there. If you have a whole list of stuff as if you owned it when you start off, like the Sam Adams company, you have to build it first, and then you'll be able to access it. So that's an easy way to tell which ones have to be built, which are Sam Adams Pepsi, the Smirnoff Vodka, and Frito-Lay, Kellogg's, Heartland Bread. Black Cap Birdseed you have to purchase, as well as Popcorn Sutton's. National Gypsum has to be purchased. Board and Dairy has to be purchased. Don's Pizza has to be purchased. Shell Fuel you own outright and it's working, you don't even have to build it. Cogent is the same way, so that's good. As well as Crystal Steel, which we are at right now, you have to purchase it, or you can buy steel from it. You don't have to purchase it, but it's once you purchase it, you operate it. All these numbers are emptied, and then you get to fill it, and you profit from the goods. So save up your money, buy the factories if you want to. User Glue is one that you have to buy. Silk Soy Milk, Hops and Props, Sugar Refinery, and the Grain Mill, and PJev's Concrete. Again, another one you have to buy. The Forage Mixer, which we'll get to when we get over to the animals, has to be purchased. Stone Processing Facility, we have to bring fuel down to that, which we have some made now, so we'll go down to do that in a couple minutes. The Meat Company, you have to purchase. Campbell's has 4 divisions, and each of them are purchased separately. And then we're into a cow milking station and a Truffletopia, which we'll show you. They're in the factory menu, work a little bit different than factories, but we'll show you those in a minute. Vehicle sell point, just like any other, right outside here. Sell vehicles directly. You can park it in there. and then sell off your vehicle. Right here next to the vehicle shop. And on one side of the vehicle shop is, let's see if we can get it to work here. You pull in here and wait a couple seconds and the car wash turns on and hopefully cleans our vehicle nice and shiny so we can get into those dirt controlled gates again. There it goes. So that's how the car wash works. Just pull in and wait a minute and it starts up. The other side is a non-functioning. You can use it to park. Originally we were going to use the vehicle damage mod in the map and put the damage mod trigger as well for repairing vehicles in the garage, but we decided against it because of the problems the damage mod causes. So we left it there. Obviously it's part of that building. You can park vehicles in it. Use it for whatever you want. The main warehouse stores goods, and I will give you a brief demonstration now. We'll show you more about the main warehouse later. All this is outlined in the PDF file too, so if you get a hold of that PDF file, if you forget anything, it tells you all the cool stuff. And I'm just going to point it out to you in the first part of this video. We got to go around. When we have products, we'll show you more of how it works in the second part when we go online. Over here is where you would fill grains, and you would pull under here with a tipper and you would be able to fill grains. There are two drop-off spots on this side. Next to the grain dryer is where you dump all your products like your grains, sugar beet, potatoes, and anything else that you might have, wheat, barley, they go here. If it's a product created from a factory, that gets dumped into the box next to the stairwell here. And you can also dump it in pallets or by tipper into this box here. Those will show up inside the warehouse, and we'll show you that a little bit later. But I can take a walk into the warehouse. I wanted to show you something. You could also actually take a drive into the warehouse. Back up and go into the one door that makes it easy to drive in. All the doors on the warehouse open with the O key when you get close. They don't automatic open, and there are tons of them. If we get close to the door, we hit the O. You can drive right into the warehouse. You can park vehicles in the warehouse. Reminder, anything on this side, and you'll see I'm going to probably bump into something here. Oh, maybe not there. The products fill up on that side, and you don't want to be driving over here as the products fill up. I guess they're not showing on the map. Let me see if they are there and visible. Not there yet. But the warehouse does fill up over time with products. You don't want to be parked over in this area where the lines are, or you will get your vehicle all weird looking. But you can, and same here, just stay out of the white lines. There's a product. That one's the one that has to be switched. It's collisionable and it's invisible for some reason. There you go. Which ones are they? Lots of triangles. But you don't want to drive on the lines anyway. You can drive all over the warehouse. You can park extra vehicles. Cummings Redneck, thank you for the follow. So that's the inside of the warehouse. Later on you'll see some products when we do the online version of a game that's been in progress for several days as we've been testing. It's kind of hard to show you all this, so it's a brief rundown right now in the offline mode. But some things are necessary to show you in offline mode because they just don't work in online mode. Around the outside of the warehouse, even though there's one dump spot, you'll see tons and tons of doors. Each door is labeled by the factory or a general label, like Pepsi. They all open. You don't need to open them, but if you get close enough to the door and hit your O key, you can look inside. And Big Trucker 578, thank you for the follow. And this is where you would pick up Pepsi products. One thing I did recently was I realized it's very hard to back in a train of vehicles. So I'm going to turn on the wireframe mode for you guys again. And you can see there's a rectangular trigger right there all the way down for each of the products. There is a trigger. It's in orange. It's kind of hard to see with all these other lines going on. But you can see the orange rectangular triggers. Well, there's two on each factory now, and one is right at the entrance. So you can pull across a train at an angle. You don't want to hit two triggers at the same time, Acer AYL, because it might get confusing if you're like in this orange trigger and that one. So we put two triggers. You can actually pull a couple trailers and fill them. So you have your choice. There's one right at the end of the runway and one back by the door. So we're going to turn off that because it causes a little bit of lag with that thing on. Each door has its different, either a factory like I was saying, Pepsi, Sam Adams, Frito-Lay, Smirnoff Vodka, all the way around. And then there's, Tai Moose, I think it is. Thank you for the follow as well. Lots of followers coming out today. Very cool. On this side, we combined some extra. There's a refrigerated and a dry goods. And that was because we ran out of doors and building supplies. So refrigerated would be where you could pick up your pizzas and sour cream and dairy products. All these are listed on the triggers when you pull up to them. And the warehouse is under warehouses. And you have several divisions as well. Foods, you can see all of them there. There is a soups division. All the soups are stored and picked up at the one door. And we have Batubekta 55. Thank you for the follow. Shipper's Goods is all the grains and everything. And then Shipper's Crops. Lots of different crops that can be. And they're each upgradable individually as well to hold more. Again, much easier to show you the workings of that on the next part of the thing. Mickey 0007 has a question. Is it possible to add planes to use a runway or add crop dusting? No. Let me explain one thing really quickly. The plane that actually, well, there is no plane. There is a helicopter that just came out. And it just came out like a week ago, and the map is getting ready to release. If I keep holding up the map, which everybody's been waiting for, by adding an airport, it would take another, it would just keep stretching it out. There's things in the map that we just can't do. And there is no actual plane, but there is a helicopter. In a future update, after this release, maybe we'll put a helicopter pad in there for the helicopter. Currently, the helicopter still only works on single player, so it doesn't even work on a server or in multiplayer mode. So, yeah, you can use it, and we have a version that we'll be giving out that does crop dusting as well, but it will be in our single player only mod package when that comes out. So, lots and lots of good questions, but we can't add in anything really at this point unless it's a game breaker, because we're out of time. It's pretty much complete. Over here we have, I'm at the animal area, big animal zone. I guess I'm going to try to hit everything. We have and it'll be easier in the second part, but we have a animal barn. This is your cow barn. It has the mix feeder linked up to it. If you guys aren't familiar with the mix feeder, all the directions are right here. We're going to operate it later, but you walk up to this side and it pops up the mix feeder instructions, and you can set how much cows you're feeding by readjusting and clicking the check mark. You can start it manually. If we had stuff in it, we could by just clicking check, but you can also add an overage to feed just in case you're not getting enough in your feeding. You hit the arrow, set your feeding times. You can have 2 feeding times, or and you can change them. And there's another place where you can set a 3rd feeding time as well. Your mix ratio of grass to silage and straw, I recommend you not change that, so yeah, because it's already set up the way you need it, unless you want to tweak the numbers. Just some visuals. Number of feeds per day. This is where that's done. So if I change that to 3 and go back, now you see I have 3 feeding times. You can also change it back to 2, and we're back to just the 2 feeding times. It gives you some mixed feeder statistics and the used quantities of each component. There's a couple extra statistics screens and some settings screens. And one of the settings that I love to turn off is showing this hand. It drives me nuts because it blocks half the screen. So you can actually turn this hand, this big hand, off by just clicking there. Small panel on feeder show status, light at feeders at night, and you can limit the capacity of the bunkers if you wanted to as well. And those are the settings of the mixed feeder. We're going to operate it later when we have more products in part 2. And the last but not least, you can also hit the Control MF left control. Try that. It even says it right there on the screen if you with the help to bring this menu up from anywhere on the map. We did have to turn off the external cameras on the mixed feeder, so there is one button that does nothing. And while we pull this up again, let's pull this up. There's a home button. You can view the mixed feeder. You can view the fill levels in this one. And the third one is a camera, spy cam, which we have no cameras hooked up to because it conflicts with our script. But at least we have the mixed feeder working with all the other features on it. So that should be pretty interesting. I'm trying to decide if I want to do all of this right now because we can switch over, I think, any time now. We just have a couple things and then do all of this later on the live show, which will be coming up on the server any minute now. This is a bale storage building. Unload round bales and square bales. One note, the Krone Ultima bales do not work at the bale building. I think what I'm going to do is just cover a couple more basics and then we'll get back to the animal area because so much of this is so much easier to explain while it's running. We need to show you a few of the other things. And if I don't run into trees and get lost over here, we can do that. Alright, what I have to show you is filling up of the water from Culligan, and I'll show you the animal pickup zone, and we will do a brief introduction to building a factory. Is very simple. So let's jump over to see what other vehicles I have staged around the map that I did earlier, and we'll hit each of those. We've been there. Factories building. As you can see here, this is what a factory that you have to build looks like when you get there and there is no factory. They're marked by these signs out front. Future home of Pepsi Company. And the triggers require products, and they go through 3 stages. We're only going to show you the first stage, which is the foundation stage, which requires lots of sand, gravel, and concrete. And once that is filled up, and it will create the factories. We have a whole factory creation tutorial from the last map that goes through this whole process that you guys can look up if you're having difficulties, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just have to dump the products in where was the dump trigger? Oh yeah, it's underneath the middle of this, that's right. So you can see the sand is going up and the total sand. Basically, and we have Boy5432, thank you for the follow. Basically, the total is the total amount you need to finish that stage of the product. And the total up above, where it just says sand, is the amount that is filled currently. Once you have all the products for a certain stage, it will start creating project points. The project points, when they reach, I think it's 50% on the foundation stage, it rolls over to the construction stage where it will take 3 more products. When it hits 75%, it will go to the stock stage, which will let you finish up with 3 different products to finish building the factory. You will see the factory as it's being built with piles of stuff on the slabs, and it's a pretty cool process. If you've played Pleasant Valley version 2.2, you know how that works. And we will show you the completed factory in a little while. We'll show you all the completed factories. But right now, we're going to show you there are a few other buildable objects on the map. Bridges. There are 3 main bridges, and they are marked. You'll find out, you'll see an area where it looks like a road goes off into nowhere. And if you pull up to the bridge and you don't have a build trigger where you think the bridge should be, check the other side of the water, because that's probably where it is. It's only on one side. The build triggers for each bridge are only on one side of the bridge. And I tend to make them on the hard side to get to, because that's just me. Little work, little extra work. So we have a road here, for instance, that goes off to nowhere. But it also goes off to nowhere on the other side. You see a little box here? It requires boards and concrete and stone, and it's a 1-stage thing. You load up all 3 of those products till it says the totals are filled, and the bridge will build, and eventually you'll have a brand new bridge to cross, which you'll see later, right over the river right there. I'm gonna jump back in this truck because it's really fun to drive. I like this one. Really cool. And we will show you if you don't own a factory. We need to cover that as well. It's kind of a mishmash tutorial this time, so yeah, it's going to be fun to go through, but it's a good... We'll cover everything. And next step is right here. We're at the birdseed factory. If you don't own a factory, you can buy the goods from it. And let's go to factories, choose Blackcap Birdseed. They are selling pallets of birdseed. Well, you can bring a box truck and fill it in the box right here, which we will do again later as well. Or you can use the pallet option, which if you highlight over the word birdseed, you can click load pallet, and it pops out pallets that you can actually load onto a trailer and haul away. It's one of the new options on all the factories. The goods can be palleted, and yeah, you can get a forklift and load them. We have an auto-loading trailer as well that will be released on Thursday before the map comes out. But it does charge you for those because we don't own that factory yet. So you notice my money went down. You may or may not have noticed. But it charged me for each of those pallets right there. How do I get across the water? I want to get across over here. If you notice also, along the front of the birdseed, the docks, you can bring the ferry over, and you can't load the ferry with birdseed, but you can load the factory, the birdseed factory, with the sunflower, corn, and millet with the ferry. Pick it up at a silo, drive it over here, and offload at the dock. So you can fill the factories with that. There's a wall of text for somebody to read, but I have to continue on. Let's see. So several of the factories are built along the waterway, including the birdseed factory. Grain mill recovers the price of oat flour is now worth $212 per cubic meter. So if we're at the grain mill, we can start selling oat flour for a much better price. So yeah, just change the market prices will pop up every now and then. Same way here, and I'll show you again, at the meat company, we do not own it yet. So there are several products at the CM Meat Company here. And we'll find it on the list. If we were to purchase these products in pallet form, you got to make sure every pallet from these factories holds 5,000. So if they have 5,000 here, like bacon says it has 179,000. If we click it once, now they have 174, but I own a pallet, and you'll see as I click that again, they're costing me $3,877 for a full pallet. Steak is down here somewhere right there. They have 71,000. A pallet of steak just cost me 16,000. So you can pick up pallets of any of these goods. Pork chops. Let's see. Ham is down there. The pork chops are right here. Where is the pork chops not working? Are we... Sometimes I wonder. Oh wait. Was that the pork chops? Nope, pork chops are there. That's why I was standing in front of a different one. But yeah, sausage, that's down there. Ground beef is right up here. You can offload, and you can buy any of these products from the factory before you own it. Once you own it, you have to operate the whole factory, and you get a menu like Kellogg's has here, where you fill it and operate it. It changes the menu over completely, and all the products that are in there you do not inherit. Let's go to next vehicle and see what we have. Animal trailer. Animals, additional animals on the map. We will show you over here right now because my barns are pretty well full. But they are not available in the store. You have to purchase them from the stockyard, which is right on the map down here near Field 46. And you'll see that they have a limited quantity of dairy cows, dry dairy cows these are. 4 there, and then we have 4 more here, as well as we have young beef cattle right there. 5 young beef in each of those barns. You can buy male piglets here, as well as female hogs, as well as chickens. Chicks here, and 2 animal barns with chicks in them, and it tells you the capacity. Basically, you just drive your vehicle over the top of whatever box it is, and it'll fill up with whatever is in there. So, for instance, if I wanted to pick up some beef cows, and this is the way you have to start producing in your new barns. You have to buy your initial stock from this, and it will be replenished. Each of them has a random timer. You'll have to probably pick up 10 beef cows today, wait at least a few hours before more start appearing in there. A day they should be fully replenished so you could buy more. Once you have your initial stock into your beef barns or whatever barns you're operating at that time, and all the barns work the same way. Let's see if I can fly over there somewhere. I think we will be safe landing here. Nope, it didn't work. Sometimes this doesn't work. I can't teleport, darn it. It's not working with this vehicle. But you can drive your animals over, dump them in the barns. We're going to do that whole demonstration later, but I wanted to show you where you pick up the animals. Right there in that little facility. And while we're over here, we have to go and operate we're going to do just a couple more things on this, then I'm going to shut down, take a short break as I bring up the server for the rest of the demonstration from the top. And we've got Mr. Sizzy. Thank you for the follow. Good follower day today. 30 out of 30 recommended. Well, my goal has been reached. While we're here with all these new followers, let me just remind you, we are doing Tutorial Tuesday, which is what we do before we release the map, which will be coming out this weekend, this coming weekend. I don't want to go that way, I want to go the other way. We're just going over all the features of the map and explaining how each of them work as best as we can. And it's a two-part segment. The first segment usually runs about 3 hours. We're already well over 2. And it's explaining what things look like and how things operate before you actually, from the start of a game. And this map tends to shift as you play into almost a whole completely different game. So the second part of this tutorial will be on the server that we have a game that we've played over 1,400 hours in, and that'll be part number 2, which will be coming up soon, because we're only going to show you a couple more things on this version. Then we're going to switch over. Here's another one of the places to build a bridge, right here. And we'll see you just bring the products it asks for, fill it up, and you're good to go. Culligan Water has 2 places, 2 meters. One of them is to fill a plant with water. Right here, you would be able to fill it up with water. And the other one is to fill the 3 water towers that are on the map in different locations. What you need to do is walk back to the back of the Culligan Water Plant. You will see a set of stairs. Walk up the stairs, and you'll see this meter here. As soon as you stand here, you'll see it starts pumping unfiltered water into the Culligan plant. Rebelman5, thank you for the follow. Rebelman5, another follower. 31. It's running off the screen. I guess I gotta adjust that little follower goal. There's a link for the release day multi-stream. And yes, if you're a new follower, you just earned some points, and you're earning points by watching. And we're going to have lots of fun prizes to give away on Saturday. But before Saturday, on Thursday, we're going to release the mods. Just show up at the stream here, because the links will be listed down below where you see that little PV Rivers logo. It will have a link to it where there will be the mods link right in there. And you will be able to get the mods on Thursday at 8 p.m. We're going to give you a rundown of the mods that are in the packages, as well as show you what you're going to need and have a fun show of it before Saturday's show, which is starting noon Saturday the 18th. That one there, hey, look at that. I didn't fix that. A floating coin I found. Mark that on the list. Floating coin. Last minute fix. And this side here is actually pumping water in to fill the water towers. So you got to go over here, and there's 2 categories of water: unfiltered, which is in this bin, and as it turns to water, this will drain back. So literally, you need it goes pretty fast. As you can see, I'm filling them both up in relatively quick fashion here. And we'll show you the water towers as they're filled once we're done. Filling up over here. The unfiltered water, once it comes into the plant slowly, not actually too slowly, but it goes into the regular water, which you can use around the map. And we're pretty full there. Now if you come over here, you can see it's still turning into regular water. If literally you can have 1 million water pumped and filled if you come back later and fill back up again. But you'll see basically over here on the meters, yellow is unprocessed water that we just pumped. Green is when it turns into water that we can fill up, and those are the 2 meters. And you can see it raised up pretty quick. So that's how Culligan works and the water towers. There are 4 farms on the map, like we had said before. we'll show you all of those in their glory in the second half because we're going to finish up the first half in a minute. There's a racetrack down here for racing go-karts, which I didn't put a go-kart. We'll show you that a little bit later as well. And I think we're going to just show you the overview of the we'll show you where the docks are built for fishing, and then later on we can show you how the docks operate on our map on the online server. And the shops are down here, bridges, yeah. I need product to operate most of this stuff, so we'll get into more of that very soon. Behind here, there are 7 total fishing docks. Just go down along the water's edge. There's 2 on this side and 5 on the other side of the river. You'll find these little squares where you can actually back up and dump off, not cows, but if you had boards, and they have to be boards in the box truck for these, they will build fishing docks. They're just mini projects, and those fishing docks allow boats to go out and catch fish and make some extra money. By filling them with corn, you can send the boat out and it'll come back with fish on it. More on that coming up soon. I'm trying to think if there's anything other than the ferry that I haven't covered. I'm pretty sure we covered everything other than the ferry, so let me jump in and do a quick demo on the ferry and how this is going to work. Let's see. Here we are in a ferry, which is purchasable in the store, and we'll show you that purchase process in a minute, but I'm right now going to back this up and park it next to one of these special silos. You'll find many of these special silos around the map. And I'm going to drive up next to this dock right here in front of the silo. I might not be close enough to hit the trigger, but we don't know yet because I haven't put anything in the silo. And I'm not going to fill this all up or it would take forever, but let's go get a dump truck. Chetty82 is now hosting the stream. Hey Chetty, how are you doing today? Thank you for the host there, buddy. Let's go to we're going to show you stones later. Second half. Second half is coming up soon. Where did that dump truck go? It's never where I want it to be. Didn't know I could sing, did you? Well, I really can't. So, teleport me. Thank you very much. The train down here by the gravel pit also allows you to sell product to it, and you can send it and get some more. So yes, you can drive over here and you can see the products in the train. You can dump gravel in here, sand, salt, stone, water, no water, coal, and sell it directly. So yeah, if you're mining, you would just go right around the corner. WRT2547, thank you for the follow. You can just go right around the corner and fill it up. I'm going to grab some coal here. Actually, let's go grab something different. We already grabbed coal today. We can drive some ore up to the steel mill. Let's check out the ore. If I can find the right tunnel to get to the ore. Just slightly confusing until you get used to the tunnel system. Yes, there is a known issue with the map where, and it's nothing that we can fix, where you'll throw some errors in the map and it will not function correctly. If you save the game, exit to the screen, but leave Giants running and then come back into the game, it will throw errors. So with this map, be forewarned that if you exit the game, exit Giants completely before coming back into the game, and you won't have any issues. It's a simple way to get around it, but it is something we know that's there that we have not been able to figure out how to fix. It's weird. And I'm going to fill up one dump truck full of this ore. As you can see, I changed the color so it matches a little better. as well as I labeled the silos. Spent his allowance on a donation rather than buying 17 Capel. That's all very generous of you guys. I'll tell you. I'm just happy to see Docket out there. Where has he been? I haven't seen him in quite a while. There's several people that are starting to come back now that we're getting ready for release. It's great to see the old faces coming back. Alright, so we have some ore. And we're going to head out and dump this into that silo and bring it up to the steel mill. Ooh, a little slippery around. Oh, you know what? This is the one with the bad brakes. Oh boy, this could be dangerous. Can we get the... maybe drive control will help with the brakes? Is there any other special brake on this? Position transport? What the heck is that? V key? Oh, look at that. Check out the wheels. They're thin, they're fat. So, oh, that's right. That's when you're just transporting the truck. I'll have to show you that when it's empty. I forgot about that. It puts all the wheels in the back of the truck. It's kind of cool. It's just a visual thing, though. Just got through in front of the train. Let's see if I can go down this hill with this without ending up in the water. That is going to be the challenge. Right here. Otherwise, we could be in trouble. That's how you haul it on a trailer or on a barge. Yeah. Alright, so here we are. You basically dump here. Stop with the dump trigger. Whoops, there we go. And if it goes down as fast as it's going up, that means I'm on the trigger with the barge over there. And ore is filling up. And ore is also emptying, as you can see in the menu up top. So it is filling up the barge, which is perfect, because we're going to take that load up, show you how the barge operates. That's the same way all the silos operate. We could swim underneath the barge to get in it by hitting the E key. We'll wait till that 105,000 is in it. It holds 500,000. And we'll probably do this again on mod release Thursday, even though it's not a mod. And this is how you would operate any of the silos. Just fill it up on the one side with a tipper, bring the barge along the other side. One product at a time per silo. So you're going to want to make sure you empty a silo completely if you plan on planting another product next to it or whatever. Otherwise, you end up not having room in your silos. The boat does have a new feature where I could hit the X key and empty everything in it if the boat has something in it that we no longer need. Copenhagen Long, thanks for the host. Thank you once again for all the hosts, everybody out there. So once you have your product, you can deliver it to whatever factory needs it. And the only factory that actually takes ore on the map is the steel mill. And they might not even be buying because I didn't check. So we should check that out. Because we don't own the steel mill yet. So let's pull that up here. Choose from list, crystal steel. Oh, yeah, they're taking, we got 356,000 of 5, so they'll take my whole load up there, as long as I get there before they close. So, we'll deliver the steel, and we're going to make, the ore, and we're going to only make, boy, this is cheap, ore, they're only going to give us $39 per 1,000 liters. So yeah, this is gonna be a wasted trip, but it's really a pleasant pain. Thank you for hosting my stream as well. It's really just a demonstration day, so Yes, you can bring products to the factories that need to be built with this. You can pick up water at Culligan and deliver it to factories once they're built. There's so many things you'll be able to do with the actual ferry on the waterways. Delivering products to factory in bulk, 500,000 at a time. Great way to move product rather than having a train of 20 vehicles going up the map. But it takes a little while. It's a little slow, 42 miles. It's not that it's slow. It's just that you have to follow the waterways, so you got to get around some things. And slow down when you get to a bridge. Put on the brakes. In the final release version, hopefully I'll remember to make it so the water shows up under the bridge, but it's a process where you got to lift all the bridges, save it, drop the bridges down, save it again, and then the water will show. It's not a huge deal that the stupid planes don't show up when the bridge is on the water. But if this building, for instance, right up here took ore, I could pull right up along the side where the dock is and offload the ore to build it. It doesn't take ore in this stage, but I'm sure it takes either stone and gravel or sand and gravel or sand and stone. All of them take. And then once the factory is built, it will take the products you use to operate it, just by pulling up right there. That's where Sam Adams is. And watch for bumps in the water. That's not too bad. Going upstream. Every time I look around this map, there's so much on it, I keep forgetting things. Sell over time facilities aren't listed in the menus here, and there are 2 more of them other than the the farmer's market. You have the canola mill and the soybean mills right here, down here along the stream. So the 3 sell over time buildings that are the farmer's market and those 2 buildings right there, the 2 mills. And if you see these little holes in the water with nothing there, that is because the bridge gets built and fills those in. That we can't avoid. So we make this delivery up here, then we're going to take a break, come back live online for part 2 of the show, which we'll be able to show you much more of how things work on the map, because we have a fully working game. And it's going to finish us up, but it'll still be a couple hours at least more to go. The only products you cannot store at the warehouse are the coal, the stuff that's from the mines. Everything else can be stored in the warehouse by pulling up along the dock on the other side of the river. With this one, we don't have a dock on this side, but you will get a dump trigger. Just stay to the left side of the steel factory side, and in the middle, somewhere up near the point here, there we go. We can offload all the products right here into the one trigger just by hitting the Q key to unload. The arm really doesn't do anything, but it does give you a symbol that it's working, and you can see the ore pile raise up. So that is how the ferry can deliver products. We made a tiny bit of money, nothing major there. As well as all the products that you want to dump off at the warehouse. If you fill up the ferry, you can just pull right up here and dump it in the warehouse right on that side. And there's plenty of room up here at the end of the warehouse to turn this boat around. I am driving the boat. Yes, I am. I am driving it. Steering away. Although it does have a passenger script as well, so if there was somebody else on my single player game, they could jump in and go for the ride. One last thing on the boat, refueling is done at the Shell station. I don't know if we used any fuel, maybe 2. But the Shell station is right along the dock here. There's a dock, for refueling the boat right directly from Shell Fuel. And we'll show you where that is. And then we'll move on to part 2 of the show, which will be online. I'm just going to throw up my Be Back Soon screen, which is new. And you guys can check that out as we go to, as I switch over, and I'm just going to take a short break while we get everything going on that side. But if you need to fill up your boat with fuel, just pull up close to this dock right here, the one with the fuel, and you will get the fuel fill triggered like it just popped up. Hit the R key, and there you go. I've got my couple liters of fuel right out of the Shell factory. So stick around. What I'm going to do, and it's terrible because of all the, I don't know how the hosting works. We've got so many people hosting, but I do want to shut down the stream so we get 2 videos just briefly and restart this one back up for the second one, the second half, when we come back. So I have 2 separate videos, and maybe your hosts will kick back in. I don't know how that works. I'm going to park this here. While we're here, we'll do one more thing. One last thing. We talked a lot about the boat. The boat is purchased in the store under mods. I believe it's under the miscellaneous right here, Hybrid Power Ferry. It's not cheap, but it's fun. And when you purchase it, it appears, we'll get to the last boat here. Jump out in the water. It appears on this dock where you can start it up. Right where your vehicles appear, it appears. If you get stuck here, just nudge it. The boat can be nudged pretty easily with a truck, but 99.9% of the time, you can just back it right out once it's purchased. So that's, and the vehicle reset point as well has been moved back to that platform there, so that if you get the boat stuck, you don't actually have to buy another one. But let's see if we can find one here on the waterway over here. It's all in this crowd. There we go. If we hit the reset vehicle tool, it costs $25,000, a lot cheaper than, I reset the other boat, a lot cheaper than buying a new boat, but it will reset right back to where the boat, where the vehicles are, so you can get the boat back out again. Alright everyone, it's just going to take a short break, reboot on our server, show you everything as it's working and how much different it is with all our equipment, run through more of the processes on each of the factories and everything because we have everything running, and the animal section as well. We'll probably start off with the animals because there's a lot going on there, and at least we have animals to show you on that side. So stick around. Just going to shut it down for like 5 minutes maybe, and then we'll be back. So we'll see you on the other side for part 2 of the Tutorial Tuesday.